Hello, Medfield TV watchers. Welcome today to our newest edition of talking about the happenings at the centers in Medfield. I think you probably all recognize the lady on my left, Roberta Lynch, who's been head of the Council on Aging and running the center for a long time now. How many years?
I'm on my 17th.
17 years, wow.
Wow.
So she's going to tell us what's going on in the center all for the year, kind of wrap up 2017, and then what's coming ahead for the next year. So I hope you enjoy watching, and I hope you keep it on. So Roberta, tell us what's going on.
All right, well, so it's been a while since we've been behind this beautiful desk. So we had a lot go on in the late fall. We had filled a position that had been, that someone had left, and we had some great candidates and did a nice, interviewed them all, but there's one person that came in and just knocked the socks off of everybody, and that's Medfield's own Lisa Donovan. And she came in, and 3 of my board members were there, Bob, Rich, and Perry. And after she left, they were like, wow, we're done interviewing. So Lisa, I know a lot of people know Lisa because she's been in town for a very long time.
And she was a Hinckley before she was a Donovan.
She was a Hinckley, and I just found out she's related to Tom Sweeney. And
well,
so
Tom Sweeney's mother was a Hinckley.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. So.
Hinkleys are all over. One time I sat down with Paul Hinckley, and he was telling me about all the families that they're related to.
Yeah.
And they're all over town. It's amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. So she has come in, and honestly, she just has brought a whole new surge of energy into the building, and is just taken on all her, her tasks, duties, whatever you want to call them. She's taking, the caregiver support group is up and running. The low vision group will start the second Tuesday in January, and she's been working hard on that meeting, and it's a wonderful addition. So I'm very excited, and that took a lot of our, our fall with getting the interviews scheduled and having people come in, but now we're up and running with full staff. Bill's back, of course. Bill was out from August 30th until he was out for like 10 weeks.
Yeah, and seemed longer.
Seemed longer, for sure it seemed longer. And so he's back, although we still have to watch him and monitor what he does. He was out there shoveling yesterday, and I was ready to yell at him, and I threatened to call his wife.
I think his wife would do a better job.
And he goes, "What are you going to call her?" I'm like, I give up, so.
No, she's great.
Yeah.
And Lisa Hinckley Donovan will be a marvelous addition.
Yeah.
I've known her since she was a little child.
Yeah.
Her mother was one of my ambulance partners.
Yeah, that's what everybody says, so it's a great fit, so I'm really thrilled. I'm thrilled that we're back up and running with everyone, and it's going to be great. Looking forward to 2018. It's going to be a great year.
Let's hope it's as good a year as this current year that we're just wrapping up.
Yeah, 2017 was a really good year at the center. We did had a lot of unique programs. I think we had our speed wellness program, and just so many different things. And each month is you get an idea and it changes, and some things are repeated, like we'll have our St. Patrick's Day dinner always. We have that it's going to be March 14th, that Wednesday evening.
Is the corned beef going to be as good as it was last year?
It is going to be the same corned beef as last year. It was delicious, thanks to Basil, so that was wonderful. We did last year, which was really interesting, we had our first chocolate tasting on around Valentine's Day, and this year our chocolate tasting is actually going to be on Valentine's Day on February 14th. And what I did, I'll be sending out letters to our local businesses, hoping that they might support this event and donate one of their chocolate desserts that we can then cut into sample pieces and add to what we will contribute like we did last year. So I think that'll be really interesting, especially if you love chocolate. I mean, I just had the best piece of chocolate at Town Hall a few minutes ago. So
well, I am a chocoholic. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that, so that's good to know. You need to come to the chocolate tasting. It's on Wednesday, so there's no bridge, so you'll be free.
Okay, I used to have a contest with the town council. He also is a chocoholic.
Oh.
And we found out, we used to bring different pieces of chocolate into meetings on Tuesday night trying to say who's better. And so finally he had place in Vermont that was absolutely spectacular. And the favorite that I had brought was Furlongs in Walpole.
Oh yeah, sure.
And
on
that's
Route
wonderful.
1.
They sell the chocolate that isn't used, it's the same chocolate that's used to cover their chocolates, but that when they take the unused bars and put them in plastic bags and sell the bags, and it is the best you could ever get.
Yeah, well, this was pretty good. It
Good,
was that I just had at Town Hall, and Susan got it. And it was from a candy store in Bellingham. So
I don't know that one. Maybe
Catalino's or something with a
maybe
P.
I'll have a new favorite.
I don't know. This was pretty yummy. But anyhow, that's enough about chocolate. So our chocolate tasting is on Wednesday, February 14th, from 2 to 4. So that'll be a fun Valentine's Day for a lot of people. But a couple of things. So we talked about Lisa joining the staff, which is wonderful. The next thing we have coming up is on Sunday, January 7th from 2 to 4. We have a celebration of the building. It's 10 years old. Exactly on that day, January 7th, 2008, was the day we opened up our doors for programming and services. The day before, January 6th, was our open house. And that seems to me like it was just a few years ago, not 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody was in the library because we had an Eagle Scout, and I apologize because I cannot remember his name, but his project was to collect gently used current books at the time for our library. And the library, if you've been into the center, is absolutely gorgeous. And the morning of our open house, January 6, 2008, everybody's in the library putting all these books onto the bookshelves. And it was, we were down to the wire to get the building set up for the open house. It was really a lot of fun and a lot of good memories. So this year on January 7th, it's a Sunday, 2 to 4, we will have a celebration of the building, and we'll have some testimonials, and we'll have some refreshments. And for those people who, have been in only to vote, maybe it's a good time to come in and walk around and see what's there and take a look at what we offer and what kind of services that are provided. Because one of the things I say is that people often say that they don't want to go to the senior center because there are only old people there, but there aren't any old people at the center, just people. And just like little kids get older, we get older. So we're not getting old, we're just getting older. We could say we're getting better.
When you were talking about the library earlier, what stuck in my mind is how valuable it is for those people like me that can't drive. Because we're up there already, courtesy of the bus and bill. We get up there, and you don't have to reserve anything. You can just go right in, sign your name, and take your book. And it's a wonderful service to have, and I don't think a lot of people know about it.
So that library, for a long time, when it opened, Maggie Joseph was our librarian in the library, and then changed hands, and now Janice Cannon has been running the library for a number of years now. And both ladies, the library is just gorgeous. The books are always fresh and new. Janice often puts something in the newsletter, and most recently it was, a lot of people get books for the holidays, and once you read your book, what do you do with it? It could sit on your shelf and collect dust, or you could donate it to our library and let the people like yourself and others come in and take the book out and enjoy. And so we have a lot of large print books, which are good for people, good for me.
You're at that stage.
Oh my goodness, what is with it? I think I'm going to be joining the low vision group, those eyeballs. Holy moly. Something happens when you get a little older. You're not getting old, just getting a little older. You do require those cheaters, So I hope people stop in. It's going to be casual, a few little, short talks possibly, and a lot of nice treats and nice conversation with neighbors and friends that maybe you haven't seen for a while. So
I told my daughter-in-law Lisa about it because she was chairman of the subcommittee for the Council on Aging building.
I remember at the FAF Center having to present to her.
And then they got transferred to Chicago, so I had to come down every week and take pictures of how it was proceeding along the way. And she was so happy. First thing she wanted to see when she came back and moved back to Medfield was she wanted to see the center.
Yeah.
A lot of good volunteers though that made that happen.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So anyhow, enough on that. That'll be very exciting for everyone. So I hope people stop in and just take a look around. So we've been busy this week. the floors. Talk about getting excited about something. So the floors are being done this week, and they've had their first coat of, well, had a coat of sealer and a coat of the heavy polyurethane stuff. I don't know what do you call it? Lacquer or polyurethane. Looks gorgeous. I mean, when you open up the door and you see the beautiful shiny floor, and we have new cabinets in the exercise hall for all our weights, so you don't see all the weights and the poles and all that stuff. It's just gorgeous. It'll be wonderful.
Good.
Yeah. So we have a few things starting in January, and one thing, this is interesting, so Triad has been around for a very long time, and it's a through the Sheriff's Office, and it's just a collaboration between the Council on Aging, the Sheriff's Department, the Police Department, coming together to inform people about ways to keep themselves safe and healthy and so forth. But we have a tour of the Norfolk County Jail scheduled for January 16th through Triad. And that's
what day of the week is the 16th? Is it a Friday?
Oh, hold on a second, I'll tell you. I'll look at my calendar. The 16th is a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, okay.
And that to me would be really interesting. And that's the jail that's in Dedham, in between both sides of, in the middle of 95. So it'll be very interesting. They're going to supply us with a bus, and they're going to pick us up at 8:30 in the morning, excuse me.
So you have to put in chains?
I don't think so. But you actually do have to fill out some security forms
I've been there before, yeah.
Yeah, before you are like okay to go. So we're going to limit that. It's limited to 15 people. So of course we're requesting that Medfield residents have first crack at signing up, and then if there's open spaces, we'll have a wait list for our out-of-town guests. And see how that goes. But I think that sounds really interesting, to just go see and tour it and just learn a little bit about it.
That's in the afternoon?
8:30 in the morning.
Oh, it's 8:30 in the morning.
8:30 in the morning. And there's a bit of walking, so that's what it says. It's about a 2-hour tour, and 2 to 3 hours long actually, and requires some walking. So that means you're going to be walking more than you're going to be sitting. But it sounds really interesting. I hope there's, people sign up for it. So one of the things, we always talk about exercise, our bodies, keeping our muscles strong, building our bones up and all that, but we also want to take care of our mind. And Minds in Motion is starting in January, and Jerry Sansolo, who has been teaching Minds in Motion for a couple, maybe 3 years now, he's changed his format, so it's a 4-week course, and then he'll have a few courses during the course of the winter and spring. So that begins on January 10th. So if you're interested, definitely sign up for that.
That is good. I've heard a lot of very positive comments about it.
Oh, people love it. I mean, they ask for it, and many people re-up class after class after class, We've had a couple of classes that were just for new people who have never taken it before, filled up very fast. So it's great. I sit in it every once in a while, but usually Jerry kicks me out. But the classes that I have sat in on there, it's really interesting. It does make you think, but he gets people to talk and exchange with one another and with their ideas, and then, so it's quite interactive, which is definitely what he likes. So our Romeo and Juliet outings are back in January, and you know what, I knew I did that. On January, Bill and I had a switch because I had a conflict, but on January 19th, Bill is taking the gentleman to a museum in Lexington. It is the Scottish Rite Masonic Museum and Library in Lexington. And there is an exhibit on many World War I posters there. Oh. So that'll be interesting. And since I don't venture as far as the Romeos do, the Juliets, we have a date change. The newsletter says January 12th, but it is going to be the 26th because the distillery did not have, was not available on the 12th after all. We're going to Astra Luna, a distillery located right in Medfield. And we will tour that and learn how spirits are made. So
That's great.
That'll be interesting.
That will be very good.
And then, of course, Romeo and Juliet's, we always go out to lunch, so it's a fun afternoon. And that's to be decided. And let me see. Yes. So we have the Massachusetts Senior Medicare Patrol coming out to speak to us on Monday, January 22nd at 1:30. And they're going to talk about how to prevent, detect, and report healthcare errors and fraud and abuse on Medicare. You know, it happens often, unfortunately, and so they're going to come out and give us some information on that. So when you get your Medicare statement or your doctor's statement, that you can look at it, and if something doesn't seem right, they're going to give you the ways to address that. So I think that will be very helpful. So that, again, is on Monday, January 22nd at 1:30. So if you go to Core Balance at 12:30, then you have to stay for the presentation at 1:30. That's the rule. Couple other things. January, you always hear the January blues, and I remember a few years ago, I don't remember what year it was, but we did a whole month on beating the January blues, and we had comedy on our TV in the foyer. We had like Dean Martin comedy and all these Carol Burnett comedies just playing in the lobby, but and we also had a laughter class, and so that was quite interesting. And Wednesday, January 24th at 4:15, so a little later in the afternoon. So there are no excuses. You know, you're done with cards and you're done with your exercising and all of that. You're gonna come and you're gonna laugh, and it's a laugh for the health of it. Creating healthy lifestyles through laughter. So that is a course that a one-day course we will have by Trevor Smith, is the laughter facilitator. So I think it'll be pretty interesting.
I've always thought laughing is the reason that Eileen Alley stayed so mentally sharp for 99 years.
Could be.
Because no matter what her day was like, she would find some way to zing you and make you laugh, always.
Right.
And it was wonderful.
Right. So we'll see. I remember when I sat in on the laughter class years ago, there was a whole group of us that were just laughing, and nothing was said, nothing was funny, but it just, once somebody starts laughing, it's sort of like yawning. When you see somebody yawn,
it's contagious.
It's contagious.
Yep.
So when somebody starts laughing, you laugh, you start smiling. And so anyhow, Wednesday, January 24th, there's no limit to the number of people, so I hope we have a good crowd for that. And two things we definitely like to do at the center. Of course, we try to always be as healthy as possible with this, but we love to eat. We love to eat. I love to eat. So breakfast is returning on Thursday, January 11th.
I thought that was a no-go anymore.
No, it's been resurrected, and it's a pancake breakfast. And I got some feedback about breakfast, and the feedback was actually that sometimes if they may not like the topic of the speaker, or it doesn't interest them, or whatever the case may be. So they chose not to attend breakfast. So this breakfast is just going to be a breakfast to get people out to have breakfast together. But following breakfast, as Lisa calls it, we're going to have our Las Vegas style bingo. So following breakfast on January 11th, we're going to have a bingo game and see, just shake up our schedule a little bit and not be so routine. So that is happening on January 11th, and we're having pancake, sausage, bacon, juice, fruit, and coffee.
Okay.
Yummy. So it'll be nice to get our breakfast volunteers back together again, because it has been a while.
Who are your volunteers going to be this year, do you know?
So we have Mike, I just sent an email. I hope I got everyone. Mike Sullivan, John Naff, Tony Santori, Tom Sweeney, Al and Rita Allegretto, myself, Bill, and Lisa.
Wow.
So that's a good group.
It is a good group.
Good breakfast group. So we'll see. Some people may have conflicts, so you always want to send it out to more, because, something may come up and they can't be there. And so the other thing we do, January, we have a supper club, and that's on Wednesday, January 17th at 5 p.m., pasta and meatball dinner. And then the 15th, the Monday before, is Martin Luther King Day. So something different after supper club, I have Dr. Highlander coming in, and he's going to give his talk on Martin Luther King, which I think will be kind of appropriate for the week, you know, the holiday, and then Wednesday. So he will probably start speaking around 6 or a little after. So if you're interested in not cooking that day, sign up, because our pasta and sauce and meatballs are delicious.
And the price is?
The price is $6.
It's a pretty good deal.
Good deal, yep. And you have a presentation. Dr. Highlander was a Stonehill College history professor for years and years and years, recently retired, and has been doing lecturing around different communities. Really, since 2008, we had him for the first time. So he's quite well known. He actually has a following. He calls them Gary's groupies. So yeah, so it should be very interesting. Yep. And let me see, we have 2 book clubs, if anybody didn't know. We have the Great Books Discussion Group, which meets on the first Thursday of the month at 1 o'clock. And then we have the Page Turners Book Club, which is on the first Monday at 10:15 in the morning. And they really look at different books. Great Books looks at those really heavy novels, and they get together and they discuss it. Page Turners is a little lighter read. And what are they reading? Steeped in Evil is what the Page Turners are reading.
Who wrote that one?
Laura Childs.
I haven't read that one.
Yep. Maggie Joseph is running the Page Turners, and the Great Books, they seem to rotate who's leading, so I don't know who actually will be leading the first Thursday in January, but it's a great group. And so if you like to read, you enjoy reading, and you want to be part of a book group, these are 2 that you can just come on in and sit down and join. So that's good. And then yeah, I think it's pretty good. So just a reminder for people that if the Medfield Public Schools are closed, that the center is closed. And there are often times, like today, we had a trip to, well, we're closed today because of the floors, but we were going to do a trip to Twin Rivers. However, we decided yesterday that with the weather being so cold, so cold, and, you know, our vehicles are in good repair, but you never ever know, that we decided it was in the best interest of everyone to cancel and reschedule on a day when it's maybe 30, you know?
Yeah.
Not 5 or 7 or 10, whatever it is.
Does the cold weather limit the number of people that come to the center?
So we were talking about that this morning, and so today's a Thursday, so probably all club members, our club program, all club people would be there. But for independent folks coming in and out, it would drop off considerably.
I would think so.
Yeah, today's bitterly cold.
Especially with the ice in various spots, It's hard to see it, hard to find it.
Yeah, yeah. So we're hoping on January 2nd we'll be up and running. I know we chatted on our way over here about, you know, just making sure the floors have cured, and then we're going to do that we won't do anything that's going to, you know, mess up the finish. That's my big concern.
Yeah.
I want it perfect for the 7th.
Well, because the smell can really blow your mind.
Oh, the smell's awful. We talked about that
Yep.
too. But I don't want any large, like, nicks in the finish.
Absolutely.
In time, you know, it's like a new car. You buy a new car and you're so careful for the first, like, week or so, and then,
I know.
you know.
What's the best thing that happened in 2017? Any good things stand out?
Wow.
Well, Lisa being hired is one. I
Yeah,
guess.
Lisa being hired is one. Oh man.
Has attendance gone up?
So our attendance is, well, when I did the report for the state, with 913 active participants at the center. So that is up from about 300 when we opened. So that's up quite a bit.
That's very good.
10 years. So that's up. But we're having more adult children calling us because of their parents living
really?
in Medfield.
And wanting services or wanting?
Just, asking questions, concerned about, maybe driving, concerned about needing help in the house, need to get some medical equipment to mom or dad, or even the younger seniors now having their joint replacements, coming in and borrowing equipment. So when I say 913, that's who we can track from those scan cards.
Yep.
But all the other folks who, they call for, questions or medical equipment, we can track the pieces of equipment, but we don't often track the who comes in for the equipment. So yeah, I would say attendance just continues to go up.
I wonder demographically how many people there are in Medfield over 55.
Oh, I know that number. It's like 2,700. Well, over 60. I don't know about 55, but over 60, there's like 2,700.
And over 65, it'd probably be over 2,000
So I can
anyway.
tell you that, I had this, the 80-plus population from last year to this year grew by about 23%. We're up to I think it's I'm going to say 350 people, 80 and older, attending the senior center.
So I'm not the only one.
No, ma'am. But we don't look at age. Age doesn't matter. But in terms of giving statistics, that matters to some people.
And some of my friends are over 90, and they're in good shape, and they come and use it. It's wonderful.
So sometimes you might hear me say that, we don't have any space, or we might need an addition, which we might because we keep growing. And that's why, too. I mean, if you have all these people getting older, and you do get older, you need different services, and we need to be ready to provide those services for people. That's what I feel.
And you guys do a good job with it. You really do.
We do. I thank you.
I've told you that before, and I mean it sincerely.
I think we do a good job, and many people comment on our center and what we provide and what we do. And those are some of our out-of-town guests are very impressed with what we do in Medfield.
And Susan, who we haven't talked about, tell people what Susan does for people?
Oh my gosh, Susan. Well, she does everything I don't want to do.
She lives here in Medfield too, which is great.
She lives in Medfield, has for a very long time, yep. She's the volunteer coordinator, and dang, I can't get her to increase. I keep saying it, Susan, don't you want to work more hours? She works 17 hours a week. Susan, don't you want to work more hours? Nope. But she arranges for all the volunteer snow shovelers that help people out for their walkways and mailboxes. She arranges that. She takes care of all the volunteers in the building. She takes care of the tax work-off program. She takes care of the medical rides.
Yeah, I know.
The transportation, the medical ride transportation. She takes care of everything I don't want to do, honestly, and I tell her that all the time.
Does that include cleaning the bathrooms?
No, that I do.
I hate that job.
No, occasionally. Susan's does a lot. She does all the query checks on people. If someone comes in and they have an idea for volunteering, they'll go right to Susan, and then we kind of work together and find out what's best. And great staff at the center.
It's a team, I think.
Oh, my
I always
goodness,
think of you guys
it's
as a team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny because when you work with someone so long, like Bill was saying, well, Susan's been there 8 years. Bill's been there 7 years. I've been there 17 years. And Lisa, of course, just started, but it's like she's been there forever because she's been in Medfield forever.
And she grew up here. Yeah.
Right. So you kind of what the other person's thinking, what needs to be done. It's really, it's great.
No, I hope your good work continues.
It will.
I really do.
It will, yeah.
Do you want to remind people again about the big adventure on the 9th, January?
Oh, the 7th.
The 7th, excuse me.
That's okay. Yep, we will be celebrating 10 years, and I welcome people to come in and walk around and have a little something to eat and see how beautiful the building is.
Will there be rides provided for those of us that don't drive?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, transportation always to the center.
So 2 to 4.
2 to 4. Unless there's a blizzard, you know, but we'll worry about that.
Yeah, you can't count on everything.
Right, right.
But that sounds good, and I plan to be there. I'd like to be there.
Nice.
For my daughter-in-law's sake and for my own sake, because I use it all the time.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
I use the building a lot, as you know.
Oh, I forgot one thing so important.
What'd you forget?
I wrote a grant in October for Saturday hours. This is what I forgot.
Oh, okay.
And I apologize, I'm going to take a few more minutes. And so I wrote a grant to Metro West Health Foundation to open the building up on Saturdays beginning in March. And they funded this proposal, which is very interesting. So now I'm looking for 2 co-leaders for Saturdays to work 9 to 4. So if you're listening to this and you know someone who might like a Saturday job, which is really more, it's not really work, it's more, I think of my job as fun. It's more fun than work, in my opinion. So anyhow, I'm looking for 2 co-leaders. Will be the funding is there for instructors for 2 exercise or 2 classes, whatever they may be. That's to be decided. There's funding for a small fee-based lunch program. That's to be decided. So between now and March 3rd, when we open our doors for our Saturday hours, there's a lot of work to be done. But I'm so excited. This is I'm going to call it a pilot program to see if this helps with people who feel like Saturdays, the weekends might be a little long for them. So there will be transportation to get them to the building, to get them home. And we'll kind of mirror the activities that we have Monday through Friday, but also have an opportunity to add new programs too. So I think it'll be great. We'll see how it works out.
And you can fill us in on the details when you talk to us in January and February.
I absolutely
Get 2 more tries. That sounds good.
I absolutely can, but I'm really, truly, truly, truly looking for 2 co-leaders for Saturday. You know, if you're interested, you come in and you can talk to me and go through all the details and what those 8 hours would consist of.
Is this a paying job or a volunteer job?
A paying job.
It's a paying job.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That might get some people out.
Absolutely, and it's a good amount of money too. So I'm excited.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's hope it works out.
I hope it works out. Well, you know what, and this is what I said when I was sitting next to you at the Selectmen's meeting. Hopefully it's success, and if it isn't,
we tried.
That's okay, you know, but to be funded almost $23,000 from Metro West Health Foundation for this 10-month program of Saturday hours to see how it goes, I think is pretty terrific.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I hope it works.
Me too.
I hope it does. Well, thank you for trying that one.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, stay tuned, you people at home, to hear more about this later. But once again, I want to thank Roberta for coming and filling us in on what's happening at the center. And definitely, we really appreciate you people watching Medfield TV. I hope you continue to do so. So thank you for watching.
The preceding was a production of Medfield TV, Community Shows.